The attraction secret men over 60 overlook and how to use it, understanding female psychology. Gentlemen, I want to ask you a direct question. Do you truly believe that at this point in your life, the only way to get a woman's attention is with a massive bank account, a luxury car, or a full head of hair? If that's what you're thinking, stop for a moment. That belief isn't reality. It's a story that has been told to men for decades, and like any story repeated often enough, it begins to feel true, even when it isn't. Here's the reality that most people miss. There is a quality far more powerful than wealth or appearance, something many men over 60 already have, but rarely recognize or use on purpose. When you apply it correctly, women, including those much younger, begin to respond to you differently. And no, this doesn't require surgery, fancy status symbols, or pills. It requires a simple mental practice that takes about 12 minutes a day. Stay with me, because I'm going to walk you through the exact mindset shift that makes women lean in, start conversations, and even compete for your attention while other men your age exhaust themselves trying to win a game designed for younger men. But before we go on, I'd like to ask you for a small favor. If you're serious about rebuilding your confidence and attracting women without tricks, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and tell me where you're watching from. I enjoy seeing men from all over the world tuning in. Also, subscribe to the channel. Every week, I share research-based insights that most doctors never talk about on attraction, vitality, and keeping your energy and presence strong after 60 right here on the Stoic Heart. Now let's break down one of the biggest myths. Society loves to repeat the idea that once a man passes 60, he becomes invisible to women unless he owns a Ferrari or has the fame of a movie star. That story is wrong, completely wrong. I have personally worked with men in their 60s and 70s who had women 20 or 30 years younger showing them genuine interest. It wasn't because of their money. It wasn't because of cosmetic treatments. It was because of something deeper, psychological attraction. The truth is, women aren't starving for more young, attractive men. In fact, they're overwhelmed by them. What many women truly crave is maturity. They are tired of men, whether young or old, who are insecure, needy, or desperate to prove themselves. The advantage you already have is real, you were just never taught how to use it. For those who are new here, my name is Lauren Pons. For the past 5 years, my work has focused on men's health and relationships, helping men rebuild their vitality and rediscover confidence in their social and dating lives. And here's something many people underestimate. Men over 60 have a type of attraction power that often goes unused. Younger men can't easily copy it. Why? Because they are still building their identity, still chasing approval, still trying to prove their worth. You, on the other hand, have decades of experience. You have built things, lost things, learned from both, and survived challenges that shape a person's character. That depth is your advantage. It's the difference between a grounded man and a restless boy. So what is the principle that shifts attraction so dramatically? It's called outcome independence. When you truly live it, women can sense it immediately. Let me explain the first major mistake many men over 60 make and what to replace it with. Mistake number 1, chasing instead of attracting. Many men still behave the way they did decades ago. They try to impress women, prove their desirability, or show off their money, hoping it will make them more appealing. From a biological perspective, this often backfires. Women can detect desperation almost instantly. Emotionally, it signals insecurity, and practically, it forces you to spend time and resources trying to prove something that should never need proof. The alternative is to develop outcome independence. Instead of chasing validation, learn to feel genuinely content with yourself and your life. When that internal shift happens, the energy you project changes. Women start to approach you naturally because confidence without neediness creates a magnetic pull. In a moment, I'll explain the simple 12-minute daily practice that trains your mind to develop this state. Mistake number 2, tying your self-worth to a woman's approval. This is a trap most men never notice. The moment you start asking yourself questions like, am I still attractive? Or do I still have it? You place your value in someone else's hands. Biologically, that anxiety raises your stress hormones, which changes your posture, your tone, and your presence. Emotionally, it feels needy, and socially, it weakens your position before the conversation even starts. That tension leaks into your body language. Instead of looking relaxed and grounded, you look anxious. You start performing instead of just being yourself. You begin walking on eggshells, constantly measuring her reactions. And she senses that imbalance immediately. The real solution is to separate your value from how she responds. Appreciate your own experience, your independence, and the life you've built. When a man has that kind of internal certainty, women notice. They see someone who doesn't need validation but is still open to connection. That combination is extremely attractive. Mistake number 3, competing in arenas where you can't win. Many men in their 60s try to imitate youth culture. They dye their hair, buy expensive cars, or push themselves too hard in the gym trying to look 35 again. Let's be honest, you're not 35 anymore, and that's actually an advantage. Biologically, women aren't wired to chase a permanently boyish partner. Many are drawn to stability, composure, and emotional steadiness. They feel safer with a man who understands himself and no longer chases approval. Practically, this means you stop wasting money and energy pretending to be younger. Instead, you amplify the strengths that naturally come with age. The strategy is simple. Stop trying to look younger and start embodying quiet confidence, that calm presence. Is the energy many women find genuinely compelling? Now let's talk about how to actually do this. How do you develop outcome independence in your daily life? I teach something called the Indifference Activation Protocol. It takes about 12 minutes a day and is split into 3 short practices. Step 1, 3 minutes of contentment rehearsal. Sit quietly and imagine your life exactly as it is right now. No validation, no romantic attention, no outside approval, and let yourself feel satisfied. With it, the goal is to train your brain to stop broadcasting emotional neediness. Step 2, 4 minutes of neutral visualization. Imagine talking with an attractive woman, but remove any goal from the interaction. No phone number, no date, no outcome. You're just enjoying the conversation. This trains your mind to stay present instead of constantly calculating your next move. Step 3, 5 minutes of self-recognition. Reflect on what you've accomplished, the challenges you've overcome, and the wisdom those experiences gave you. This isn't about bragging, it's about recognizing your own value so your confidence becomes stable, not fragile. Here's the interesting paradox. The less you obsess over attracting women, the more naturally attractive you become. Think about Frank, one of my clients from New Jersey. He's 68, instead of trying to impress anyone at a local. He just relaxed and read a book. A few minutes later, a 52-year-old woman started a conversation with him. They've now been together for 2 years. What drew her in wasn't effort, it was presence. His attitude communicated, "My life is already full." Your company would simply add to it. That kind of energy naturally draws people in. Don't confuse this with being cold or distant. That's not the point. The goal is to remove desperation, because desperation is always noticeable. Calm self-assurance, on the other hand, creates curiosity and comfort at the same time. And the best part is, this isn't something you have to fake. You already have it inside you. Decades of experiences, successes, mistakes, lessons, and victories have built it. The only thing in the way is insecurity or old habits that hide it. So here's the truth many men overlook. You are not too old. You are not invisible. You are not past your best years. You are at a stage of life where attraction can work differently and often more effectively than it does for younger men. All it takes is a mental shift and a short daily practice. Start tomorrow. Build outcome independence. And watch how women begin to respond to you with curiosity, openness, and respect. You don't need to reinvent yourself. You only need to reveal the man you've already become. If this message resonates with you, hit like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. And in the comments, tell us what you find most difficult about dating after 60. Every story matters. Life isn't about fading into the background. It's about walking into every room with calm assurance, knowing you have nothing to prove and everything to experience. Stay grounded. Stay confident. This message comes from the Stoic heart. Now let's go deeper, because the next idea may change how you see both yourself and attraction entirely. Many men over 60 underestimate the power of their presence. They've spent decades solving problems, leading families, and building careers, yet they forget that their presence alone carries weight. Women don't just respond to words, they respond to how they feel when they're near you. When you walk into a room with composure, certainty, and steady energy, you immediately stand apart from men who seem restless or eager to impress. Silent confidence often says more than anything you could say out loud. This is where awareness of energy becomes important. Every interaction between a man and a woman involves an exchange of emotional signals, and many younger women are very sensitive to those signals. They notice when a man is genuinely comfortable with himself. They read it in your posture, your breathing, and the steadiness in your eyes. That quiet ease creates curiosity. It's not about flashy behavior or clever lines. It comes from being deeply relaxed and authentically connected to who you are. I remind my clients of one simple truth. Your body communicates long before your words do. Before you even say a sentence, a woman has already read your stance, your tone, your breathing, and your movements. Those signals speak louder than anything you could say. If you approach with tension, she feels that pressure. But if you approach with calm assurance, her guard lowers naturally. This isn't just theory, it's basic biology. Human nervous systems mirror each other. When you're relaxed, she feels safer. When you carry anxiety or neediness, she feels discomfort. That's why outcome independence works on such a deep level. It changes the emotional signals you send. Once your internal energy shifts, your interactions change too. Let's look more closely at what outcome independence actually does inside the brain. When you stop chasing validation, your dopamine system resets. Instead of relying on outside approval for emotional reward, your mind starts producing steadier internal confidence. I call this self-sourced confidence. It's not motivational high pour. A temporary performance. It's a real shift in your nervous system. Your hormones stabilize, your posture improves, your voice naturally slows down, and your eye contact becomes stronger and more comfortable. These changes happen when you practice emotional detachment for just 12 minutes a day. Here's another exercise that builds on this. I call it magnetic breathing. Find a quiet place. Put your hand on your chest and inhale slowly through your nose for 4 seconds. Hold the breath for 2 seconds, then release it slowly for 6 seconds. As you exhale, imagine letting go of any tension about being liked or approved of. Silently repeat to yourself, I am already enough. I bring value just by being myself. Practicing this for 5 minutes every morning builds emotional stability and strengthens the calm presence that many women find deeply attractive. Think about the world women deal with today. They're surrounded by constant noise, social media, attention from dozens of men, and endless attempts to impress them. What's rare now is stillness, calm, authentic presence. That's why a grounded man in his 60s who carries emotional balance can feel so different to them. The effect isn't always logical, it's emotional. When she's around him, she feels calmer, more open, and more at ease, and that feeling naturally draws her closer. This leads to another important idea: silent leadership. Women are often drawn to men who lead not through control, but through steady direction and composure. Silent leadership means staying emotionally stable when things get chaotic. It means listening instead of dominating the conversation. It means thinking before acting and responding thoughtfully instead of reacting impulsively. That kind of presence signals strength far more clearly than physical dominance ever could. Younger men often confuse loudness with authority, but most women instinctively know that real strength is quiet. It doesn't demand attention. It just exists. When a woman meets a man who has learned to manage his emotional energy, she often feels pulled toward him without fully understanding why. His presence works like gravity, subtle but powerful. Gentlemen, the next chapter of your life isn't about trying to get your youth back. It's about mastering your presence. When maturity and presence come together, attraction changes. It becomes less about effort and more about authenticity. Instead of forcing things to happen, you let connection grow naturally. When a woman feels truly heard, respected, and relaxed with you, the bond forms at a deeper level than surface charm could ever reach. Remember this clearly: your presence is your power, your calmness is your strength, your wisdom is the magnet. When those three things come together, attraction happens without you having to chase it. Conversations become meaningful. Eye contact becomes powerful. Even silence feels comfortable. Women recognize when they're with a man who has truly lived, someone who carries strength without arrogance and listens without judgment. In the next part, we'll explore something that strengthens all of this even more. It's called emotional mastery, the invisible signal that tells a woman you can handle complexity, emotion, and vulnerability without losing your balance. When she senses that kind of steadiness, she stops testing you and starts trusting you. So stay with me. What comes next will show you how to lead with emotional clarity, composure, and honesty, qualities that make a man unforgettable at any stage of life.